because remember, it takes 24 hours to process with the federal government and the state, so that way you guys be ready to go by Friday to go take your permit test. All right.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised that they'll allow you to allow a crack in your brake drum as much as a half of your friction surface. So I was reading that you can have a crack in your brake drum on the friction surface as much as half of the friction surface across the friction surface. That makes sense?
Yeah, I know that you can't have no more than the pad lining on the liner can be no less than 1/4 inch as low as it go before they consider it out of service.
Quarter inch thick, right? But I was taking some practice
The
tests
drum, you talking about the crack in the drum
in
itself?
the drum, right?
Yeah, I don't know actually how long they allow it, but it has to, because I got jacked before. I got pulled over 4 years ago on a deal skin. They did a full level 3 inspection on me, and that's one of the things he dinged me on when they put on their little jumpsuits, lay on their little roller thing, and they roll up under your truck and your trailer, and they start checking all your stuff. And he said I had a crack in my drum. He didn't give me a ticket for it. He gave me a 30-day fix-it ticket, like a little thing. So if you don't get it fixed in 30 days, it turns into a citation. But if you get it fixed and submit it back to the go to a DMV, I mean a DOT scale, and let them re-inspect it, then you won't get a ticket. So we was able to do it that way, but they will. But the length, I honestly, off the top of my head, I can't tell you what it is. If you read it in the book, then it's probably right. If it's in the book, I know they allow it, but how long it can be or how bad it is, that's where they set the standards at. Once it reaches that limit, that's when they can write you up and cite you.
I mean, I had a 64 Chevelle with drum brakes, and if I saw a crack like that in it, I'd have fixed it like, yesterday.
Man, I had a company before I was driving before, not drum, but the pad lining. It was thick, but it was broke up and cracked up, and I didn't know it. So when I started driving, it was on the trailer, and I applied the brakes. I was looking in my mirror, and I see little chunks of metal flying off my back rim. So I pull over on the side of the road on the shoulder, little pieces of the brake pad breaking off coming down the road. Every time I smash the brake, I say, ain't this some bull crap? Yeah, so that stuff, you do have to get it fixed. I had just picked that trailer up, so I didn't know. I did, you did your regular walk around, kick the tires, look at the lug nuts, make sure. I didn't get all up under it and check how much drum. I'm just, hey, I'm picking up this trailer, gonna drop it off. But I wish I would have checked it. All right, but nevertheless, I don't know what that length is. If you read that in the CDL book, then it's true if it's in the book. But I do know they will get you for that crack in the drum.
Yeah, I was on a DMV practice test, and I got it wrong, so I checked it, and sure enough, up to a half of the surface is allowed to be cracked before it's an issue. So I don't know. I'll find that verbiage and I'll show it to you. Maybe we're in the yard. See what you think.
All right. So tonight, guys, we're going to get into this combination, and then again, we're going to go over those quiz questions after we finish that. All right. So combination is one of the third tests you got to take at the DMV to complete your learner's permit. All right, general knowledge, air brake, and combination. Combinations use anywhere from 15 to 25 questions. All right, it's brief, kind of like air brakes was yesterday. So it won't be long. It'll be about the same time we spent yesterday on air brakes, but we just got to do those quiz questions at the end of this session. All right, so combinations. Remember, I'm only on the abstract out of here, the things that are relevant to the permit test as it relates to combination. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right, so one of the we talked about this the other day at General Knowledge. One of the two things that's one of the main reasons that causes truck drivers' deaths and accidents is right here, rollover risk. See right here, said more than half truck drivers' deaths and accidents are a result of truck rollovers. So rollovers take out more drivers than anything. There's two things they suggest that we should do to try to prevent it. As you look at this second paragraph right here, it said the following two things will help you prevent a rollover. Keep your cargo as close to the ground as possible. So when you go pick up freight, you want to make sure whoever loaded that trailer didn't double stack pallets on top of each other and make you top heavy in your trailer. You want to keep your freight as low to the ground as possible. And the second thing It's driving slow around turns. You want to take turns, curves, nice and slow. Because remember, trucks at 13 feet 6 inches high. If you take a curve or corner too fast, and that truck is top heavy and they get off balance, it's going to roll over. Trust me, it's going to roll. Especially if they get enough tilt in it where that freight all shift to one side in that trailer, then it's really gonna flip over. Once that trailer rolling by you being connected to it by the fifth wheel in the truck is going to pull you over too and roll you over with it. All right, so you got to be careful that you take turns and corners nice and slow, and that when you pick up trailers, that freight is kept low to the ground. All right. Steering gently, trucks and trailers have a dangerous crack the whip effect. That crack the whip effect is caused by that river amplification. All right. So usually this happens a lot with guys who pull triples and doubles. Those trailers, your truck drivers you see, they have two or more than one trailer behind them. All right. They have a triples and a doubles endorsement on their license where they can pull more than one trailer. Well, those trailers have a real bad crack the whip effect. And so you're always supposed to put the heaviest trailer behind your truck and the lightest trailer on the very end when you're pulling multiple trailers, because that last trailer is going to roll if you ever deal like steer to avoid hitting something because it ran out in the road or whatever. If you do that pulling triples and doubles, it's going to like sending a wave through the freaking truck. And like once you send that wave and it hits that trailer, that last trailer rather, and that last trailer get off balance and tilt, it's going to pull it like a domino effect. It's going to pull all the other trailers there. Eventually, it's going to get work its way all the way up there to you in that truck, in that cab. It's going to roll you over too. All right. If you look at this diagram here, I want you to pay attention. There's a lot of trucks on here, but look at the very one at the very bottom with the three trailers behind it. Those type of trailers at the highest risk of rollover, because the more trailers you have and the longer you are, the more at risk you are for river amplification. All right. So that's why we always put the lightest trailer here at the very end. We put the heaviest trailer right here behind our truck. All right. Imagine if you put the lightest trailer here, put the heaviest trailer there, and that river amplification kicks in. Oh man, that could be very dangerous. It's going to snap it loose. All right, because it's so heavy. You can put a lot of freight in these trailers, and these trailers can be extremely heavy, especially if you're hauling heavy stuff like bottled water, canned goods, things like that. All right, we talked about this a little bit on Monday when we did general knowledge, when we talked about railroad tracks and low ground clearance trailers can get stuck on railroad tracks. All right, so when you're dealing with combinations, you're talking about towing the vehicle. So they're going to talk about that type of stuff too here on combination. So a lot of the stuff general knowledge covers everything. So that's why you heard some general knowledge stuff on air brakes yesterday, and you're going to hear some general knowledge stuff tonight on combination because they all kind of coincide with each other. So some of these trailers that could get stuck on raised railroad tracks are like low slung units, like low boys, the car carrying trailers, moving van trailers, the possum belly, or livestock trailers. So you got to be careful when you run over those type of tracks because you can get stuck. If you do get stuck on one of the trailers, you need to call 911 as soon as possible outside the truck, right? And so they can try to get a hold to that train yard to get a hold of that conductor to bring that train to a stop before he gets to you. Any questions? All right, let's keep going. Remember that diagram we saw on Monday and it showed a jackknife and it was a tractor jackknife. All right, this is showing you a jackknife too, but this is a trailer jackknife. And if you guys remember, I said pay attention to the word in front of jackknife because this is going to tell you who's responsible. So you look at that truck, it's going straight. It's on the proper course it should be. But look at that trailer, it's starting to swing around to the left side of that truck. And if you read the caption down there, it says the trailer wheel's locked up. All right, so whatever happened, it could have been a brake line came loose, or numerous things could happen. But whatever happened, it made the trailer brakes lock up. And when they locked up, they began to skid to the left. And this is called a jackknife because that trailer is involuntarily sliding around, coming around on the left side of this truck. All right. You never want to slam on brakes in a situation like that because you're going to make that trailer swing around even faster. So what you want to do is you want to get off the throttle, get off the brake. You want to counter steer. Counter steer. You chase that trailer with that steering wheel. You counter steer against it. All right, until you get back control of that trailer. All right. Look over here at this diagram. All right, so there's a thing that we truck drivers call off tracking. You see it right here, off tracking. All the definition to off tracking is when the trailer wheels follow a different path than your tractor wheels. When your trailer wheels follow a different path from your tractor wheels, that's called off tracking. So if you ever been out and you've seen a truck out on the street turning, and you notice how the truck goes deep into the intersection before it makes its turn, the reason that truck driver goes deep into that intersection before he makes his turn, he or she, is because they know about off tracking. They know that trailer is going to follow a different path than that truck. So they need to go deep to compensate for that. Because if they don't, that trailer they cut that corner short with that long trailer behind them. That trailer going up over that curve and it's going to run over fire hydrants, stop signs, light poles, people. All right. So this thing called off tracking, we have to go deep on our turns to compensate for it. We saw this diagram on Monday when we talked about right-hand turns. Remember, we said the jug handle is illegal for this truck to swing over here into this oncoming traffic lane to make his right turn. They need to continue to go straight till he get to the second lane. Stay in the second lane until his trailer clears this curve. Once his trailer tires clear this curve, he can persist to get all the way over to that right lane and keep going to his destination. It's called a button hook. Jug handles are illegal. Button hooks is what they want us to do. All right. Look at this diagram here. This is for controlling the direction of your trailer. When you connect it to a trailer by the fifth wheel, the way you control the trailer to make it go where you want to go is you always have to turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction you want the trailer to go. So if I want that trailer to go to the right side of my truck, I'm going to turn my steering wheel to the left. If I want that trailer to go to the left side of my truck, I'm going to turn that steering wheel to the right. You always turn the steering wheel the opposite way you want that trailer to go. And you're going to learn more about that when you go in the yard and we start teaching y'all how to do skills, straight line, offset, parallel, alley dot. Just when you're really going to have to learn this concept. Let's see if y'all been listening. What two things are important to prevent a rollover?
Driving slow on curbs.
All right, the two things that are important to prevent a rollover is keeping the freight low to the ground and going slow around turns. Remember, keeping the freight low to the ground and going slow around turns. Number two, when you turn suddenly while pulling doubles, which trailer is most likely to turn over?
Last one.
That is correct, the very last trailer. Number three, why should you not use the trailer handbrake to straighten out a jackknife? Now, I might have to help you with that one because they always ask you this question before they tell you what a trailer handbrake is. We're going to talk about the trailer handbrake on the next page, but yet they're asking you about it now. And so I never understood that. But nevertheless, the trailer handbrake is a valve on your dash. So yesterday, remember we were talking about air brakes and we were talking about how you need air to get to your brakes so your wheels can turn. If you stop the air from going to your brakes, then the spring brake system going to automatically kick in and lock your brakes. All right, so this trailer hand valve is a valve on your dash that you can pull up or down. If you pull it down, you cut off the air from going to your trailer, which locks your trailer brakes. All right, it was only created for one thing. We never use that in normal truck driving usage. It's only there for one reason and one reason only. The only reason they put those in trucks is for you to use it whenever you go somewhere and pick up a new trailer. Every time you back up and connect to a new trailer, that's how you test the trailer brakes to see if the trailer brakes work before you pull that trailer off the yard and take it onto a public street. You could test the brakes on the yard by hooking it up and pulling the trailer hand valve, all right, to test the trailer brakes. So it's only for testing trailer brakes. That's the only purpose for it. All right. So the question is asking, why should we not use the trailer handbrake to straighten out the jackknife? Because if you use that, you're going to lock the trailer brakes, and all you're finna do is make the jackknife even worse. So that's why we don't do it, because it's only going to make the situation worse because you're locking up the brakes. Number four, What is off tracking? Anybody remember what I said?
When your rear wheels on the trailer cut inside of the tractor wheel line.
Well, so it's when the
So
trailer
it's not
wheels follow
following
a
the wheels
different
on the
path.
tractor.
When the trailer wheels follow a different path than the tractor wheels.
Yeah.
When the trailer wheels follow a different path than the tractor wheels. All right. Number 5, when you back a trailer, you should position the vehicle so you can back in a curved path toward the driver's side. True or false?
What was the question again?
Hmm?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Number 5, when you
number
back
5.
a trailer, you should position the vehicle so you can back in a curved path from the driver's side. True or false?
True.
Should be straight, right?
That's true. No, that's true. You always want to back from the driver's side where you can see where your trailer is going. If you try to back from the passenger side, that's called blind side backing, and you're going to have to keep getting out and look because you can't see.
Oh, that's if you have to do a curved path.
Right.
Okay.
Number 6, what type of trailers can get stuck on railroad highway crossing?
Low belly trailers.
Low belly trailer is one. Yeah, car hauler is one. Yeah, so any trailer with low ground clearance, pretty much. All right, trailer hand valve.
Said low ground what?
Pardon me?
You said low ground something. Can you repeat that one more time?
Any trailer with low ground clearance. Low ground clearance. Yep.
All right, thank you.
So this is that trailer hand valve I just told y'all about. It's only for testing trailer brakes on a new trailer. And what it locks that trailer, cut off the air supply to the trailer so the trailer brakes come on. That's the trailer hand valve. The trailer tractor protection valve. What is the tractor protection valve? It keeps the air in the tractor or the truck brake system should ever the trailer break away. So if your trailer lines ever snap or loose from your truck while you towing that trailer, it protects your tractor air. So that's why it's called the tractor protection valve, because it protects the air in the tractor if the trailer breaks bad on you. All right. If you look up here, trailer air supply control. Pretty much if you read this backwards, it's going to tell you what it's doing. Trailer air supply control, it controls the supply of air to the trailer. The trailer air supply control, it controls the supply of air to the trailer, pretty much. That's the little red octagon thing we talked about yesterday in air brakes. And I said it's on your dash, it's red, it's shaped like a stop sign, octagon shape. If you push it in, you supply air to your trailer. If you pull it out, you stop the air supply to your trailer. So that is called the trailer air supply control. All right. Trailer airlines. Trailer airlines. So if you get out of your truck and you walk toward the back of your truck, you're going to see a blue and a red line airline. All right, the blue one is your service airline and the red one is the emergency airline. You connect the two lines from your tractor to your trailer and they got to be color coordinated. You put the blue line on your trailer, you take the red line from your truck and you connect it to the red line on the trailer. So let's talk about what each one of them is for. The blue service airline, that's the blue one. The reason we connect the blue service line, because the service airline works in conjunction with the service brake. That's the brake on the floor that you smash with your foot. Every time you smash that brake with your foot in your truck to slow it down, the same amount of pressure that you're applying to your truck to slow down, that blue airline allows that same amount of pressure to be transferred to your trailer, so your trailer brakes can be working in harmony with your tractor brakes. So the trailer and the truck are working together to slow down when you smash the service brake. That's what that service line is for. That red emergency airline is your main air supply. It's like electrical work. The red wire is the hot wire. You touch it, you're going to get shocked, right? The red emergency line is your main air supply to your trailer. That is the main one that's filling up your air tanks in your trailer, giving you that 120 to 140 PSI pounds of pressure to release your brakes so your trailer's wheels can turn. All right, so if I'm driving down the road and that blue service line pop loose, I probably wouldn't even know it. I probably keep driving down the road, wouldn't even know it. But if this red emergency line popped loose while I was driving, I'm going to know it instantly. Why? Because I'm going to look in my mirrors and I'm going to see smoke coming out of my trailer tires because I'm dragging them down the highway because they ain't turning no more because I done locked my trailer brakes. My tractor wheels are still turning, but my trailer wheels ain't turning no more. I'm dragging them down the road because my red emergency line came loose. So this is your main air supply to your trailer. This is what's keeping them brakes from not locking up on you. So if something happened to this red line, you jacked up. This blue line, you could be okay. You mean you could smash your brakes, your truck could be slowing you down, but you wouldn't be getting no help from your trailer because the trailer brakes wouldn't be working, and only your tractor because the service line came loose. That's why I said you probably wouldn't even know it if this one came loose, but you will know instantly if that red one came loose. Everybody understand what each line does?
Yes.
All right. So we connect them by hose couplers. At the end of those hoses, they got little metal things. We call them glad hands, but the proper name is hose couplers. They're metal. And these metal pieces got these round rubber grommets in it. So you take them and you connect the one from your truck to the one on your trailer by the glad hands. And the air goes through that little dark circle hole around the grommet. Air pressure goes into that and through the line. All right. So these are your glad hands. And they have to have a snug fit, and this rubber grommet has to be there in place. If this rubber grommet is missing and you connect them anyway, when you push your red air line in to supply air to your trailer, you're going to hear a constant hissing sound like shh. And you're going to get out your truck, walk up there, and you're going to see, or you're going to feel rather, air shooting out of this crack where my mouse is pointing at. Because this rubber grommet is missing, all your air pressure going to be coming out these cracks. And you won't get enough air pressure to release your brakes. So now you're stuck with that trailer. So we use, as truck drivers, we used to keep an extra bag of these in our truck. Because sometimes you'll go pick up a trailer and truck drivers steal these because they be missing them. So they'll take them out of empty trailers just sitting on the yard. And then you go pick that trailer up and now the rubber grommet is missing. So you keep some of these in your truck, then you won't never have that problem. Just pop one in, hook your lines up, and go on by your business. Everybody got that? Yep. I gave y'all that for free. All right. Shutoff valve. Shutoff valve. Remember we talked about multiple trailers, doubles and triples. So those, we call those truck drivers, we call those little trailers pup trailers because they little small trailers, 20-footers, 28-footers, 30-footers. All right, so we call them little pup trailers. But at the back of each one of those little pup trailers is shutoff valves. They're at the rear of each one of those trailers. Shutoff valves. What are they there for? Those shutoff valves allows air to flow from one trailer to the next trailer. So if I hook a trailer up behind another trailer, I will open up the shutoff valve so the air from the one trailer that I already have will flow to the new trailer I just hooked up to. And I will keep opening the valves as many trailers I hook up. But the very last trailer, that's the shutoff valve I'm going to close, because if I leave it open, I'm just going to be blowing air into the wind, into the atmosphere, wasting it. So you close the shutoff valve on the very last trailer. All the other valves, you leave them open so air can flow through to each trailer. All right, because you got to remember your air compressor is way up there on your engine. So the air is being pumped from your truck, from the engine truck, excuse me, from your truck engine, all the way through as many as trailers as you have connected behind you. All right, but the very last trailer you close. All right, let's see if y'all listening. Why should you not use the trailer hand valve while driving? Remember I said it has one purpose?
Testing only.
Yes, it's only for testing trailer brakes. That is correct. Number two, describe what the trailer air supply control does.
It controls the air supply to the truck and the trailer.
Well, it supplies the air control to the trailer, not the truck, just the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's why it's the trailer air supply control, because it supplies the air to the trailer. All right. Number three, describe what the service line is for. That blue line I connect. Why do I connect that blue line?
It operates the brakes on both truck and trailer.
That is correct. That is correct. Everybody got that?
Yes.
All right. Number four, what is the emergency airline for? That's the red one.
That's the main supply of air.
That is your main supply of air. That is right. That's the most important one. All right. A lot of times, if you see yard mule guys who work on a warehouse moving trailers around, you never see them hook up the blue line. They only connect the red line. They just need enough air pressure to release the brakes on the trailer so they can move the location and they release it. They don't connect both. They just only connect the red line. All right. Let me see. Number 5. Why should you use locks when parking a trailer without spring brakes?
Because the trailer is not locked. Yeah.
You said what? What'd you say, James?
Because without spring brakes, when you remove the air, you don't have spring brakes that lock up, so that trailer could roll away.
That's right. So if it don't have a spring brake system on it, what's going to keep it there? You got to put something behind the wheel to keep it from rolling. All right. But if you got a spring brake trailer, you ain't got to worry about that because the spring brake's going to hold the trailer there. All right. Good job. All right. One more. Number 6. What are shutoff valves? You can actually cheat. Hell, it is right there. Shutoff valves. What are shutoff valves?
It's the valve that releases air to the trailers.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the valve that allows air to flow from trailer to trailer. That is correct. All right, let's keep going. This is more about, so this is anti-lock brakes again. So everything we talked about anti-lock brakes and general knowledge on Monday, it's the same thing. March 1st, 1997. It was created to prevent front-end skids. ABS stands for anti-lock braking system. Do I still have normal brakes if they stop working? Yes, I do. How do I know I got ABS? A light will come on my dash when I turn the ignition. So the only thing they're talking about here in combination about it is just the last statement I just made. How do I know I got ABS in my truck? ABS light will come on the dash when I turn the ignition on. But when that ABS light comes on, flashes on my dash, that trailer I'm hooked up to, if that trailer has ABS, it's going to have an ABS light too, but it's going to be at the rear left. Remember that location, the rear left. All right. Any trailer with an ABS system on it is going to have an ABS light at the rear left of that trailer, and it's going to flash when the ABS light flash on your dash. It should be flashing on your trailer as well if your lines are hooked up. All right, everybody got that? The rear left. Remember the location. All right, this is talking about coupling and uncoupling. You're not gonna have any questions on your permit test pretty much about that. Only thing you need to know about coupling and uncoupling on the permit test is how do you line up to couple to a trailer, and the answer is directly in front of it. You line your truck up directly in front of that trailer before you bag up under it. All right. Panel hooks. This is like covers everything pretty much from people hauling RVs, boats, all that.
Is that what they use when you're hauling doubles?
We use
the dolly with a pintle hook.
What is that called? We got a name for that doggone trailer. I'm trying to think on it. I think this might be on here. Not a gooseneck. It is. Let me go back. Let me see on here. I will show it to you because I'm gonna show you this anyway because I don't like this diagram right here for this next slide right here where you see this kingpin. This is a kingpin. Kingpin I'll connect. This is not part of your truck, it's part of your trailer. So you see these 3 arrows, head, shank, and base. The head arrow is pointing at the right spot. Shank and base is not. All right, so I'm gonna go to Google and show you a real live one. First, let me show you the truck fifth wheel. Then we'll work our way to the trailer. Oops. Let me know when you guys see it. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a truck fifth wheel. This is what you connect. It's part of your truck that connects to the trailer when you towing a trailer. It needs to be greased. This one I'm pointing at is kind of rusty on top. It needs to be greased so that way, because it don't build friction. All right. But it looks like a giant piece with a slice missing. And this part right here where the slice is missing is you see all that EP grease on there. It's a lot of grease on there. All right. But that what my mouse is pointing at, right where that finger, that mouse pointing at, it's like a trigger of a gun. It's just like the trigger on a gun. The kingpin that I'm gonna show you a picture of next after this, A kingpin acts like your finger. It pulls that trigger. Once it pushes this in, when you bag up under that trailer, what you don't see is a chunk of steel in this fifth wheel that looks like the capital letter C. It looks like the capital letter C. And when you push it in, it swings around and locks around the shank of the kingpin. It swings around and locks around the shank of that kingpin. Once it locks around the shank of that kingpin, you can raise those legs on that trailer. You can tow that trailer anywhere you want to go. You can pull it all across country if you want to, because it's locked in now. But you want to make sure that locking jaw is around the shank of the kingpin. That's why truck drivers, we always keep flashlights. Whenever we hook up to a trailer, we get up under that truck and trailer, shine our flashlight wheel in this area to make sure we see that locking jaw around the shank of that kingpin. I'm going to show you that kingpin because I want you to see what I'm talking about. This is a kingpin on the trailer. This is the bottom of a trailer. That's a kingpin. Somebody just got a kingpin lock on there. That yellow thing is a kingpin lock. That's what you put on there when you drop a trailer, but you don't want nobody to get up under and steal your trailer and drive off. It protects the kingpin so no other truck can bag up under there and lock it. But that ain't what we're talking about. This is the bottom of a trailer, but this is how one looks. All right. So this is where my mouse is pointing at. This is the head. This narrow part here is the shank. And this part here is the base. That's why I didn't like this diagram, because it's got the shank up here and the arrow is pointing up here for the base. No, the shank is this narrow part here, and this is the base. So let me go back. All right, so the head, the shank, and the base. Now that locking jaw that I was telling you guys about that's in your fifth wheel, when you back up under it, it swings around here. It needs to be around here. And this is where you shine in your flashlight to see that locking jaw is around this part. Because sometimes that locking jaw will swing around and be around this part, which is the head. That's dangerous. And the reason that's dangerous is you'll pull forward and you'll feel like you're connected and you can pull that trailer. But if you ever hit a bump or pothole or something like that, then it can come unloose and now you're not connected to that trailer. And next thing you know, you'll be looking in your mirror and you drop your trailer on the ground, bam. And especially if that trailer is fully loaded with freight, maybe 44,000 pounds worth of freight, and you just dropped it all and the landing gear legs is up, you're gonna do some damage. All right. So that's why you always want to make sure that locking jaw is around the shank of this kingpin. Any questions about that? All right, one more thing I want to show you guys in Google is the trailer fifth wheel. I mean, not fifth wheel, landing gear. The trailer landing gear. Hold on, guys, give me 1 minute. All right, so let me show you right here. This is a good picture right here. This is a trailer and the landing gear. These landing gear are the legs that support the front of the trailer when the truck is not under it. All right, this supports the weight of that trailer when a truck is not under it. Once you back your truck up under there and you lock to it, and that locking jaw is around the shank of the kingpin I told you, and then we just talked about the blue line and the red line emerges. I hook up all my lines and everything's connected. This is the last thing I do. I start, like you see this guy right here doing, is turning this cranking arm, raising these legs up. All right, because now the front of that trailer is resting on my truck fifth wheel. All right, so I can tow it now. When I'm done with this trailer and I disconnect to it, I let these legs down all the way down to the ground. Then I pull off from up under that trailer and leave that trailer there. But these landing gear legs need to be raised all the way up to the top. A lot of truck drivers get lazy and just want to raise it up a little bit, like how you see on this picture right here. I had the sand shoes at the bottom of this landing gear are not that far from the ground. So if he just did it like that, he'd be able to move it from that spot. But say he pull out of that driveway and there's a dip in that driveway, then these legs are going to get caught in that dip and he's going to bend them or probably break them. And if he bend them and break them, now how he going to drop that trailer when he get it to where it's going? So now he's stuck under that trailer. You got to be the support now to somebody come fix these legs. So you don't want to do that to yourself. So raise these, take the little extra time and keep turning this cranking on until you raise the legs. And another thing, the federal government says that we have to put these, you see this cranking arm right here? This is a hook right here. This arm should be resting on this hook. They don't want us to let it just hang like that. Because if you're going around a curve and this arm gets to swinging and it swings outward. What if somebody zoomed by this trailer on a motorcycle and his arm swings out? You can clothesline them straight off their bike.
I just saw one on the side of the road on the 91 yesterday.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. It's very dangerous. So this cranking arm needs to be in a lock position in this hook. All right, any questions about the landing gear? All right, so that's why I wanted to use Google, because I don't like this little drawing, this cartoon drawing they got right here. It's not giving you an accurate depiction of the landing gear. And right here, even with the landing gear, like I said earlier, it is fully raised, has no missing parts, it's not bent or damaged, and the crank handle is placed in a secure position. So you see your CDL book is telling you that's how they want to see it. They don't want you just letting that arm just hang. Which shutoff valve should be open and which one should be closed? Anybody remember? Yes. All right, hold on, responding to this measure. Back and open that door. All right, so the very last one, you're right. I was distracted, guys. Sorry. Yeah, the very last one, yeah, that's correct. Number 2, how can you test that air flows to all trailers? So how do I know air is flowing through all of my trailers? Well, if you open up the shutoff valve on the very last trailer and air is blowing through it, then you know it's blowing through all the other trailers, right?
If your trailer rolls, you got air.
And that trailer, wait, that's another way to know too, exactly. But yeah, if you open up the shutoff valve on the very last trailer and you feel air blowing, then you know that it's blowing through all the other trailers because the compressor's way on the truck. All right. How can you test the tractor protection valve? First, you got to remember what the tractor protection valve is for. In the tractor.
Correct.
So if I want to see if that's working, then what I got to do? I got to disconnect what? From your trailer. That's right. You disconnect the coupling system from your trailer. All right. Because remember that the tractor protection valve is designed to protect the air in the tractor if the trailer breaks loose. So you got to disconnect the trailer to see if the tractor protection valve air lines work. Number 4, how can you test the trailer emergency brakes? Remember I said it's a valve that only has one purpose?
Yeah, you want to engage those spring brakes by removing air by pulling your emergency brake.
Well, remember we talked about, you got this thing on your dash called the trailer hand valve. We use
hand valve, yeah.
Test the trailer brakes. That's right. You could test your trailer because you got to remember your emergency brakes and your parking brakes are the same. Remember we talked about that yesterday. Air brakes. Your emergency brake and your parking brake are the same. So don't let that confuse you because they say an emergency brake. The emergency brake and your parking brake, the same thing. All right. So how can I test the ones on the trailer? Use the trailer hand valve. Cut off the air supply to my trailer. If the emergency brakes kick in or the parking brakes kick in, I know they work. All right. How can you test the trailer service brakes?
Step on the brake pedal.
Yeah, but you got to idle first. So roll forward about 5 miles an hour, smash the service brake, like you said. And if the truck and trailer stops in a straight line, you know that the brakes are working fine. And you're going to actually have to do that at the DMV in front of your examiner. You have to make your truck roll 5 feet and then smash their service brake. And they want to see that truck and trailer stop in a straight line. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. That's it. I told you combination was short. So get y'all quizzes out. Everybody get their quizzes out. Let's see if y'all missing any questions. If you're missing any questions, now's your chance. Let's talk about it in class because it's an open book quiz. Because you got to have an 85% or higher, all right, when we submit it to the state and to the FMCSA. Everybody good?
I didn't really get the answers for the first couple of them.
Okay, well, what's the first one you missing? I don't have it in front of me. You got to read the question.
Are we gonna
What?
go over? Are we gonna go over it like a group?
Huh? You're breaking up.
Are we gonna go over it as a group?
The one that you're missing, yeah. We could talk about it as a group. This is the federal government allows this to be an open book test. So it's totally legal. You okay. Trust me, we wouldn't blow our license doing something illegal.
I got a question about section 2.2 to 2.3 quiz. It says on number 2, if stopped on a hill, how can you start moving without rolling backwards? I didn't get that one.
That's apply. Leave the brakes applied until clutch engages. You leave the brake applied to the clutch engage. You can't let go of that brake before the clutch engage, because if you do, a truck is going to roll backwards.
You should apply brakes to clutching.
Engages, yes.
All right, thank you.
Next question.
The one I got is name some key steering system parts. I don't think I got that one.
Key steering or steering, the key, the question, the key to that question is keyword is key. So the key steering parts is with steering column, power steering pump, and gearbox, power steering gearbox. So any one of those is fine. Next question. Don't you all jump at the opportunity.
And then there's, I'm pretty sure this one's common sense, but I didn't want to answer it. It says, why put the starter switch key in your pocket during the vehicle inspection?
So no one starts the vehicle. Because if you out there outside that truck and say you out there checking your belts and stuff, and somebody jumps in the truck and just fire it up while you're pushing on the belts, that belt, your finger get caught in that belt, get pulled in that pulley, you can lose a finger or something like that. So you keep that key in your pocket, nobody can start it. So the answer to the question is so no one starts the vehicle.
I think you said that was an automatic fail once.
Well, who said that?
I did. I thought I heard you say that getting out of the truck with the key in the ignition is an automatic fail.
I never said that.
Oh, okay.
I said getting out of the truck facing frontwards is an automatic fail. You got to use 3 points of stance when you get out the truck. So the same way you climb up into a truck, that's the same way they want you to climb back out of it. If you turn around and face forward and get out the truck, that's an automatic fail. But getting out with the key not in your pocket, no, that's not a fail.
All right.
I got another question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you test hydraulic brakes?
Pump the brakes 3 times, but hold it on the 3rd time.
Okay.
No, next question.
What should wheel bearing seals be checked for? Is that like cracks and to see if it's loosened or
leaking?
Leak. You looking for leaks?
Oh, leaks. Okay.
Okay.
Next question.
These are one of my questions that I'm having problems with. Maybe I don't know if I didn't pay attention. I can't find it in my notes. How do you find out how many seconds of following distance space you have?
Remember we talked about that on general knowledge? We said the length of our vehicles is 1 second to every 10 feet of our vehicle and the speed. So the length of your vehicle and speed.
Yeah. Yes, okay.
Hey, Kenneth, and then another thing, I know you said once we turn in our quizzes, by Friday, we should be ready to go take the permit test at DMV. But if I'm still kind of having trouble with the air brakes, the test on the app, would you recommend we keep trying to test before we actually go to the actual test?
So you say you're struggling with air brake, you said?
Yeah, because I couldn't get out of 65% and 70%.
Yeah, you got to keep doing it until your score rises because you need to get 85% or higher 4 times in a row. So I mean, you need to keep taking that test. And when you get the ones wrong, are you going over the ones you get wrong? Because they give you the right answer and tell you why you got it wrong.
Yeah.
So you should be going over it so you can learn it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you want to pass that test before you go do a DMV and spend your money.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all up to us, right? Whenever we decide to go take that test.
I mean, ultimately, yeah, but to a certain degree. I mean, you can't just go whenever you want and you just wait and think in school just going to wait for that to happen because you got to process them. So many people, we got to process them and push them through. So you want to go get that permit as soon as possible because the longer you take to get that permit, the longer it's going to take to get you scheduled to come to the yard and then get you scheduled at the DMV. Hell, it'd be December or something before you go to, you see, January. So the longer you take is going to hurt you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you got to remember, once you get your permit, we can't even book your DMV date until you had that permit for 14 days. So you got it. So after you get the permit, it takes 14 days before we can even schedule you for the DMV to get your DMV date. So we can schedule you to come to the yard to start training.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's a process. So the sooner you get it, the better. It starts the clock.
For sure.
Do we need our physical before the actual permit test?
Yes, you got to take a copy of that DOT physical to the DMV when you get ready to take the permit test.
All right, I got an appointment the 17th.
Okay, the 17th.
Yeah, November.
That's a long time off.
I heard you could just walk in.
Yeah, you don't even have to make an appointment for a DOT physical unless you're going to your own private doctor or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And you can go to any DOT. I mean, all these Concentra, all these places do them, like $90 or something like that.
Yeah,
process.
The TA truck stop at the 10 freeway, and I can't remember what that street is, but there's a doctor there named Dr. Kim. He's a chiropractor. You call him up. I called him on Friday night, and he said, come in Saturday the next day at 11 a.m. And I was there and got mine the next day. $90.
How much he charge you, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah, it was $90.
Yeah, see, there you go.
And I called Concentra, another urgent care facility nearby, and they wanted 171 for the same thing. So there's a big difference in price depending on where you go.
You said the doctor's name was Dr. Kim?
Dr. Kim at TA Truck Stop in Rancho. It's in Rancho Cucamonga.
All right, I'll do it.
Or it's Ontario. It's right on the border. What's the name of that street, Dave? Airport Drive? Near Haven.
All right, perfect. Thank you, man.
No problem.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm hearing that we're going to run out of diesel fuel in the next few days. What do you think?
They've been saying that for a while. I don't know. They said we're supposed to run out of food by December 2. The grocery store is supposed to be.
I think it's politics. They're playing with politics.
Exactly. But you got to remember, a lot of people don't know this though, but this is a fact. Years ago, not years ago, but a year or so ago, those farmers was taking big money from the federal government to burn the crops. So why was you burning crops if you know people need food? So they created the shortage. And I'm in trucking. So for the last 2 years, they've been holding back freight at the border because a lot of my friends are owner operators and they run to Laredo and down to the borders and they swap. The Mexicans bring it up to there. They swap with the Americans at the borders, and then they bring it because they can't cross those international lines, right? So they are not letting the freight over across. They're letting the freight build up, just like they keep on. So the stuff is being held so long that a lot of it that's food products are bad.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. So it's like all I'm saying is this: it's a self-inflicted shortage. It ain't like this stuff is naturally happening. It's a created. They creating the shortage. Now, why they doing it is the grand prize question.
Yeah.
And I know this for a fact because I'm in trucking. That's my job, the delivery of freight. And they holding back the freight from coming in America. It's not looking good. And a lot of people, I've been warning people for the longest, but they ain't listening to me. And I'm like, Y'all, they said it's coming down the pipe.
I heard farmers were being forced to destroy their crops.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have no choice. What another thing, and I ain't trying to get off into a political rant, but this ain't even political because this ain't talking about no side. This is just fact. You can Google fact check this for yourself. Years ago, I don't know if y'all remember, but the government was giving these big subsidies to these farmers to help them buy better farm equipment, better fertilizer, all that. But what they was doing was giving them the okie doke. They gave them all the millions of dollars, put them farmers in debt. Then they know the crops was going, eventually bad weather, anything is going to mess up crop. Put them in default on their loan, and the government seized all that land and auctioned it off to rich people like Bill Gates and all that. Them bought all that land. So all that food products now are owned by rich corporations. So they control your grocery and your food now. So now what you think for the happen? And then Biden just signed a bill where all money has to go digital now. They're getting rid of cash. Everything is going to go digital. And then he signed a bill to say every transaction done over $600 has to be reported to the IRS. Now you tell me what's about to happen. It's about to go down. Yeah. I'm gonna go live like Castaway. I'll go find me a little island something.
Get yourself a farm and grow your own food.
Exactly. Live on me an island, grow me some crops, and just make sure I take a lady with me. I ain't gonna be hanging around with Mr. Wilson, I'll tell you that. Any questions about this? That's enough off-topic stuff. We can talk about stuff like that forever. Anything about the general knowledge air brake combination?
Yeah, I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
It's named some suspension system defects.
So the main thing they're concerned about there is if your leaf spring is broken or missing more than 1/4 an inch, it will put your vehicle out of service. So if a leaf spring is broken more than 1/4, you'll be put out of service.
Okay.
Huh? What's the question? I don't have it in front of me. Reread the question. Yeah, you got to be sure now. We're here to help you because you need to get 85% or higher, and y'all need to write your your date of birth, your driver's license number, and your name the way it appears on your license on the top of that page before you submit it. Because we're gonna need when we submit it to the state and to the federal government, that information has to be accurate, spelled right, everything. Your driver license number, because one letter or one thing spelled wrong will kick you out of the system, and then you'll go to the DMV, try to test, and they'll be like, well, you ain't in the system. And the reason is you got kicked out because you didn't spelled your name wrong or you missed the number. So make sure that stuff is accurate on top of there. That's trust me. Yeah, so it's the length of the vehicle and the speed. Your length of your vehicle and speed. Any other questions, guys? And remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If you don't know, ask. We're here to help each other. Ain't nobody here to judge.
What forms of ID are they going to ask you to bring?
Birth certificate, social security card, and 2 proofs of your address. And it can be something like a car registration, mortgage papers, lease papers if you're renting.
Credit card bill?
Well, not someone, no credit card bill, but a utility bill like electric or gas, something like that.
Okay.
Something like those type of things. Insurance papers, like you got life insurance or car insurance, stuff like that. They'll accept stuff like that.
I guess I'll bring more than I need, and hopefully they'll find the right.
That's what I always do.
Papers.
Just in case they decline something, I whip something else on. I bring birth certificate. I got a passport. I bring everything like that. You ain't got no reason to deny me nothing.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? Make sure you got all that quiz. Every question needs to be answered.
I got 2 more.
Okay, what are they?
What things should you check during a trip?
During the trip,
Yeah,
right?
during
You
a
want to
trip.
check you want to do a walk around during the trip and check your tires. That's one thing I would check. My lights and signals, make sure they're working. I would look under my truck for see any leaks or anything, just stuff like that. Anything you put like that is feasible.
Okay.
So they're not looking for, 10 things or everything. It's just like give them 2 or 3 answers and you're usually good.
Right. They need to know pretty much that you got a pretty much common understanding of what you should be doing. Once you show them that, like even when you go to the DMV and you do your road test.
What are some tips to follow? Hello?
Somebody say something?
I got you, Ken.
Right. Okay. I thought somebody was trying to ask a question.
They said something about tips to follow or something like that. Somebody said something about some tips to follow.
Who's that?
That's
Joe?
what I heard.
What's the question?
I don't know. He
Your
kind
mic
of
must be mute. I can't hear you. Is your mic mute?
How far? Can you hear me? No, it's not. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. What's the question?
How far ahead does the handbook say you should look? That's 12 to 15 feet, right?
Seconds. 12 to 15 seconds.
Okay.
Yep.
I also got another name some things you should check on the form of your vehicle during the walk around inspections test. Is that similar to the one I did ask?
On the front of your vehicle?
On the form. That's what it says right here.
On the form or the paperwork?
Yeah.
Names of things you should check on the form of that paper has everything on it. It has from your lights to your suspension because anything that go wrong you can check. So that's a wide open question. So you really can't get a wrong answer on that. If you name anything on the truck that you check, they technically can't mark you wrong because that form that you're talking about has every part on there. But the main thing they want you to check is that box that says this vehicle is satisfactory for driving.
That's for pre-trip, right?
Yeah, that's for pre-trip, yes.
All right, thank you.
What is your most important way to see the sides and rears of your vehicle? Your mirrors?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless you cross at it.
Sure. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, your mirrors. You got mirrors. Mirrors are your best friends. Remember I told y'all that Monday? Mirrors are your best friend. Any other questions?
What three add ups the total stopping distance increased by 2 or 4 times? That's acceleration.
That's perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance. That's what you're talking about?
Yes. Perception.
Reaction and braking.
Right. So do they give you a Class C test during the permit test or at the final test?
They can make it first or they can make it last. It's at their discretion, but they're gonna give it to you, trust me.
You probably should know Class C before, make sure you're.
I would brush up on the Class C before I go if I were you. Because a lot of people think because they've been driving for years, they know. They go take that test and fail like that. And they pass everything else, the hard stuff, and they had a Class C for 30 years and then failed Class C tests. Like, really? Because California always changing rules. Any other questions on that permit? I mean, on that little quiz so we can get it submitted. Rest, that's number one. Yes, that's the number one answer. Rest. Listen to soothing music. Listen to ebooks. Things like that keep you calm. I used to listen to ebooks a lot.
What? First.
It can cause the brakes to stick on one side. It can cause your brakes to lose friction and not have enough friction to stop. A lot of things can happen. It's a plethora of things that can happen. But the main things is cause your brakes to stick or to loss of friction. Next question. Huh?
What are some
You're breaking up real bad. All I hear is what I saw. Did anybody hear what he said?
I broke up way too much.
I see him talking.
Right. We see you talking, but
what
we
are
don't
some
hear
tips
you.
to follow? What do I put though? Well, I live in the ghetto. I got cheap internet. Hold on, let me pick up my computer.
Crazy.
Write it on a piece of paper and hold it up to your camera.
Hey, you know, if you're in the ghetto, you log into somebody else's stuff.
That's
got a
the
good
front
signal.
house. The front house. Oh man, I don't know if you get it. What are some tips to follow so you will not become a distracted driver?
Some tips to follow so you don't become a distracted driver. Hands-free devices. Don't answer any emails or something till you pull over to a safe location. Any answer along those lines is a good answer.
Make sure there's nothing loose going to fall on the floor or roll around.
Yeah, roll up under your brake pedal. You can't stop. Exactly.
And I also got another question for the, the parking brake you were talking about, the one that's kind of like a diamond shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I drive like a flatbed type of a truck for work. And that's actually why I'm in this class. I got pulled over, and that's one of the things they cited me for, that the lettering on that diamond shaped brake valve was erased, and they marked that as like, I guess a fix-it ticket, I guess.
That's chicken shit.
I never heard that before. That he was messing with you. They color coordinated, not word coordinated. The red one goes to the trailer. The yellow valve goes to, as long as that valve was yellow.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have the word wrote on there. He was picking with you.
Oh yeah, probably.
He was hoping to get you for something else, and he couldn't, so he had to get you for something.
Oh, the truck I drive is a little beat up.
That's chicken shit right there.
They got me for a couple of things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I usually drove right past scales. I never got off on them.
I wasn't even close.
You gonna get me? You gonna earn your money?
Yeah, I wasn't even close to a scale.
Oh yeah, he just jacked you on the street.
The thing is, my company, the company truck, they didn't keep the DOT sticker up to date, and it was expired. So when they ran it in the system, that's why they pulled me over.
Oh wow! So your job got you caught up.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, because I got court in December.
Wow.
I was just asking that. I kind of found that stupid, that he's like, oh, you don't got the lettering on the valve, but I was like, I didn't think you need it as long as it works and shit. Right. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah, he was picking on you. I never, like I said, I've been in trucking over 20 years. I ain't never heard nobody get no citation over that. That's the first time I ever heard that.
Maybe it's a new law, like you said. They're changing everything around.
Yeah. California make up the dumbest rules you ever want to see. California, only place you can buy a gun, but you can't carry it. What? It's just dumb. I don't understand it. But I digress. Any questions about air brake combinations or general knowledge? And all y'all quiz questions filled out.
I got one for section 2.7 to 2.8. Number 3, you should decrease your following distance if anybody is following you too closely. True or false?
That's false. You never decrease your following distance. You can increase your following distance, but you never decrease your following distance. So that's false.
All right, thank you.
Control braking, because remember, we can't do stab braking. We do control braking. Any other questions?
I'm good.
So if everybody got their quizzes filled out, again, make sure your date of birth is right on there, your driver's license number is correct on there, and your name is spelled the way it is on your license. And write that all at the top of your quiz and get them submitted, because it takes 24 hours for us to process it. So if we do it, it's by Friday. I ain't saying you got to go on Friday. It's good if you do. The better, the sooner, the better. But you'll be clear by Friday. So you can go Friday, Monday, or Tuesday. But I wouldn't put it off a long time, because, like I said, it takes a while to process, to get in the DMV appointment and all that. And this is stuff that I'm not, you can fact check me, you'll find out it's the truth. I ain't got no reason to lie to you. It's a process. Any questions for me? Because this is our last night. Next time y'all see me is on the yard when we get ready to teach you how to drive these trucks and all that good stuff. So any questions about the permit aspect of it?
I mean, I just gotta, I mean, I know it says right here, but when we snap the pictures, we just gotta send it to both Donna and Barbara, right? So they
Yes,
both
sir.
get it?
Yes, sir.
And you said to pick the medium file, right?
Huh? Pick the
I think they
medium
said
file?
yeah, when you send the picture, not to send the large or the small, to send the medium, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Any other questions, guys?
Sir.
Let me get the tenants real quick. I'm glad before y'all log off. Hold on. So y'all get y'all credit for being on here. Hold on, give me 1 minute.